This is a moment the news movement filmed on January 13th in Minneapolis, showing a man who appears to be Alex Peretti interacting with federal immigration agents 11 days before Border Patrol shot and killed him. Our footage was analyzed by the BBC, whose facial recognition technology confirmed his identity to a 97% degree of accuracy. On the morning of January 13th, our team received a tip that federal agents were blocking a street at the corner of East 36 and Park Avenue in Minneapolis. We arrived around 10:15 a.m. We saw observers shouting at the agents as they walked back to their vehicles. When they started driving away, the man kicked their taillight. An agent then got out of the vehicle, grabbed him, and pushed him to the ground.
Welcome back to The Rift. My name is Elijah Schaefer. We have a great show for you. I don't have my normal soundboard, but we are back live Monday, Wednesday, Fridays right now at whatever time I start. We'll get the regular schedule going up. Joining me today to talk about all the insanity, we're talking about ICE deporting people, and it keeps coming up that ICE keeps, unfortunately, shooting people and killing people. Now, the narrative is that ICE are Gestapo, that ICE have gone too far, that the deportation has extenuated the graces of our people, and that now we need to stop these brown shirts. We've got to get them off our streets. However, I would say that ICE hasn't gone far enough. And we're seeing today the problem continues as even someone named Madhu Gudamukakala, and that is not a dish an Indian restaurant. That's a person's name, the head of U.S. Cybersecurity Defense Agency, CISA. Again, Madhu Gudamukakala. I don't think any of our founding fathers wrote anything in the framework of our Constitution and our government to have people named Madhu Gudamukakala working in anything, especially in a department with sensitive information. Well, he uploaded sensitive contracting documents into a public version of ChatGPT. Get this. Trigger DHS security review. We've gotten to a point now where you can compromise national security. You don't have to respect the border. If you enforce the law, you're a criminal. The criminals are the saints. We have George Floyd Day. They still haven't even in Minnesota changed the block where George Floyd was martyred. They haven't even brought it back to life. It is literally a shithole. It is actually a homeless encampment now. That is the vision of our country. We are a giant homeless encampment for Indians. And all that matters when you say, hey, look, I don't think I like what's going on here. I don't think I appreciate the new types of people that are being brought in as my neighbors. They would say, sorry, sir, but you do not understand. Because we have family and we also like to make a lot of money, then we belong here. Your name is Madhu Gudamukakala. What the hell? Sorry. Your name is Madhu Gudamukakala. Okay? You're going to get deported, sir. Remigration is going to happen. We got a serious problem, and it's taking place primarily here in Texas, where we've opened up an emergency office in order to investigate the fraud. We have some important videos coming out. It was so important that we raised awareness of what was going on here, and people started copying our ideas. In fact, some people actually stole our research. This is not a joke, out of a meeting, and beat us to some of our investigation. But we're going to do it better. We're going to do it faster. We're going to do it stronger. Because here at Rift, we are bringing content back to expose the truth, not just for money or for clout. We're doing it because this is our homeland and it's being stolen from us. One investigative journalist who is with me today, his name is Marc Palasciano. If I'm pronouncing that correctly, he has an incredible story. He's turned down over 6 figures to shut him up and probably has lost upwards of 7 figures being censored by X and other platforms, all because he's exposing what's happening. And later in the interview today, we'll be talking to him about him confronting city management here in Frisco, one of the largest cities in Dallas. 8.98 million people in the Metroplex here, by the way. This is bigger than like half of Australia, over why they're getting donations from Indians and who are they really serving. Joining me today, I'd like to introduce him. Marc, welcome to the show. It's good to have you on.
Hey, thank you for having me on. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to share my story. I feel like I should, just start with this. We'll get this out of the way. I am not suicidal. Okay. I feel like it's very important that I need to make this very clear. And there's my website.
Oh, dude! Unfortunately, I was going to say we have new information as well. People know my car was stolen from the front of my house several months ago, shortly before an FBI lawsuit, and we have new details about that grand theft auto that occurred, and it's actually quite suspicious. I feel like I sound crazy because I'm telling somebody, I'm like, look, I need help. The FBI is targeting me, and the doctor's like, you're the 10th person today, sir, that said that the CIA is following them. But they really are. I have the paper trail, and it looks like somebody targeted and removed my vehicle to cause financial harm. It looks like it was according to the police report, a targeted hit. I don't know what it is about me that they want, but as Marc will know, it doesn't really matter how big or small you are. The point is, if they don't like you and they don't want to hear from you, they will make sure that your life is as difficult as possible. They don't want to kill you necessarily, because like with Charlie Kirk, it can actually inspire more people to work harder and push harder, which it did for people like myself when Charlie was murdered, by the way, like a dog. But most importantly, we're going to find out what the hell is really going on. Marc, let's jump into this. So if you know about this, this guy who was an individual here named, where is this? Up here. His name is Alex Peretti, and he is the latest individual to be killed by ICE. Okay. He's the latest individual to be killed by the Immigration Enforcement Agency. And I think if you didn't realize that people were going to get killed in these ICE raids, then you didn't know what you were talking about. Now, ICE obviously has a lot going on. This is an ICE agent, police federal agent that is currently eating the immigrants. So it's unfortunate. They're getting, Marc, they're getting eaten by fat people. And I don't know I'm not really upset about the immigrants, but I am upset at fat people. I've never been a fan. I think they should add them with Indians up to the second group of people that gets deported. But we have this individual named Alex Peretti, and we'll talk about whether I think that the killing was justified. But if you're just joining in the live stream here, we're going to watch new footage that comes out that shows maybe he wasn't actually such an innocent person. Shocker, right? Like George Floyd. Maybe he was a criminal. Maybe he was a perpetrator. But does that justify him getting killed? Because we're not boomers like, oh, everyone deserves to get shot. When a federal agency is killing an American citizen, we have to actually analyze whether that is justified, because our Second Amendment was made to protect us from federal agents killing us. That is what it's for. So was he justified? I don't care if he had a gun. You're welcome to have a gun. We're going to talk about that and so much more here on The Rift, because we are back, baby. Before we jump into that, I want to remind you guys real quickly to make sure that you check out AmeriCore. Guys, a lot of you want to know, basically in your life, what is it that you want to invest in? How do you want to develop, grow, and make your portfolio diversified? Well, right now, when you can go to AmeriCoreResources.com using the ticker AMCOF and AMCO, you can actually find out how to invest in a stock option that is not only important for your portfolio, but actually has a very, very high long-term yield. Now, one of the main things, I want to look this up real fast before I tell you anything else about this. I'm going to go to my document. I have a little bit of a slow internet here. So I apologize, as it, for some reason, just takes a long time to load here. But where is this? Okay. Yeah, you can check out the. I don't know. It's just not present in my document, so I have no idea why it's not here. But check it out there at AmeriCoreResources.com. But also, you can also check out DistrictCopperCorp.com, which is the cornerstone of U.S. national security, power infrastructure, clean energy, and defense systems. Yet rely on foreign sources, surging prices, and global supply chain pressures underscore the urgent need for domestic production. District Copper Corp was also an investment, which you can see at CIXPF or DCOP. With its U.S. market listing and projects in resource-rich regions, it's positioning itself to meet demand, potentially expanding to strengthen critical supply chains. As the Trump administration prioritizes critical metals, District Copper could be central to securing America's future. Visit districtcoppercorp.com right now at DISTRCTCOPPERCORP.com. Use the ticker CIXPF or DCOP, depending if you're in Canada. It's also very warm in here today. I think it's just Marc is so attractive, it's just making me sweat. But I got to figure out why they think, because there was a storm, that you have to crank the heat up in the building to like 96 degrees. It's very unfortunate. I am also wearing a wool Boss 1930s pea coat. unfortunate timing there to be wearing something so beautiful. All right, let's talk about this. So this video came out, which I think is very important and underscores what's going on. Alex Peretti, an investigation came out that maybe he wasn't just a random guy on the side of the road. Maybe he actually was doing something much more sinister, much more evil. This is the investigation. It's about 2.5 minutes, but I want you guys to watch.
With the news movement filmed on January 13th in Minneapolis, showing a man who appears to be Alex Peretti interacting with federal immigration agents 11 days before Border Patrol shot and killed him. Our footage was analyzed by the BBC, whose facial recognition technology confirmed his identity to a 97% degree of accuracy. On the morning of January 13th, our team received a tip that federal agents were blocking a street at the corner of East 36 and Park Avenue in Minneapolis. We arrived around 10:15 a.m. We saw observers shouting at the agents as they walked back to their vehicles. When they started driving away, the man kicked their taillight.
Okay, Mark, let's jump into this here for a second. We'll get to your story after this. This individual was shot and killed by ICE agents. Let's just start there. And I want to hear your perspective on this. He was carrying a firearm, for people that don't know. So they say they justified unloading a mag into him. They claim that he resisted arrest. I have my take on this. What is your take on the killing? Do you think it was justified, regardless of this new footage and what we know? Do you think that the federal agents had the justification to kill him, or do you think this is going to go down as probably something, someone's going to get disciplined for this? What's your take on that?
Yeah, no, I don't feel like it was justified to do that. It's your right to carry a gun on you. I don't think he posed enough threat to be shot. Now, this new video is creating a whole new narrative of the type of person he is. But regardless, I don't think you should have your rights taken away, or you shouldn't be able to carry a gun if you're at a protest. He needed to keep himself safe too. But so I don't think he should have been shot and killed. I think there probably should be some more investigation there.
Yeah, I think the key thing here, this is sort of the most safe approach I think anyone can take on this is Governor Tim Walz's fault. Because this is the Minneapolis police's fault. This is the mayor's fault, right? This is Jacob Frey. These are their fault. Why? Because you're telling everybody that ICE are dangerous, poorly trained agents. I have friends in ICE, okay? We all have friends in ICE. Maybe ICE was the friends we made along the way. But they are going to a 2-month boot camp. They're handed a firearm. I'll be completely honest. Some of the people I know that work for ICE, I'm like, they gave you a gun? But I'm like, wow. I mean, sometimes I'm even surprised some people I know that own guns. I'm like, I can't believe we have a Second Amendment. I'm sure that our framers wrote the Constitution, wrote the amendment there, Second Amendment, thinking about Jamal Jaquarius III owning a firearm. If you told me, said Jamal Jaquarius, don't even give him a picture. Just say, Jamal Jaquarius is going to be able to buy a gun illegally. We would have been the most anti-gun country in the world. Okay, that's why the country was framed a certain way for certain types of people, particularly people who don't use EBT cards as a form of currency. But they did give us the Second Amendment, this right to carry a firearm. And you to say that the ICE agents are radically untrained, crazy, and then you tell police to stand down. You tell police to not get involved. You don't bring in the National Guard. You don't do anything to use your resources to allow the higher trained, people who are connected with the state, people that are from the area to manage and police these situations. And then you wonder why bad stuff happens. Well, that's why it happens, because you are making ICE have to take care of their own management. The police should be protecting ICE from being interfered with, but ICE has to deal with their own policing of the citizenry. So it's like the governor, the Democrats, it sounds so boomer, but the Democrats legitimately are the ones causing the killings because they are not policing properly their people from interfering with law enforcement. So this footage comes out though, and everyone says he was just an innocent guy, but it looks like he was he had a history with ICE agents. He committed vandalism.
We saw observers shouting at the agents as they walked back to their vehicles. When they started driving away, the man kicked their taillight. An agent then got out of the vehicle, grabbed him, and pushed him to the ground.
Don't you love how they do that? Like a guy comes and he spits on the car, breaks a taillight, commits literal. I mean, I would say it might be a felony, interfering with law enforcement. It's like, you don't hurt him. He's just it's like when girls say, they're like, oh, like they do something absolutely heinous and evil that destroys your life. And they're like, I'm just a girl. And you go, you're a demonic entity. Okay. You might not have the strength to kill me, but you know, like they say, right? Boys may break your window, but daughters, they'll tear out your heart. You know, it's true. Women are the most destructive creatures in the world. They're beautiful, like sirens. But individually, they're capable of evil. And I think a lot of these Democrats, Mark, a lot of these people are going around here. I think it's up to the states. Like the city and the state should be policing and keeping these people from interacting with federal agents, because federal agents are just there to do their job and to deport people, apprehend people, investigate. But when American citizens are getting involved in agitating, I mean, like I kind of say this with Alex. I don't really feel bad for him now, because it looks like he was, you know, you poke a, you know, you want to have a career? Don't talk about the Jews. You know, so someone will be like, man, my career is so hard. It's like, well, because you talk about the Jews. That's why, because it's like you complain, oh, the Jews are so powerful. They control everything. And it's like, oh, I don't know what's happening. I'm losing everything. All I'm doing is talking badly about the people that control everything. It's like, well, it's probably why, sir. It's probably why. If you attack federal agents, they might get pissed and might shoot you eventually. Is it right? No. But also, you put your hand in hot water and got burned. That's this. I don't know if that's my good. I'm ascertaining this correctly, but that's what I think happened here.
Yeah, the FAFO score on that is a 10. And you know, I'm all up for protesting and because you know that's what these signs are for. You know, I have so many of these signs. I showed you that I am not suicidal. This is my other one that we're going to get into. Frisco City Council is corrupt. But I believe in being able to go out there and protest. But that's, you know, use your First Amendment right. You don't go out there and start kicking police cars and ICE cars and interfering into the situation, because you are, at that point, you're definitely an agitator. But like we're both saying, he shouldn't have been, we don't think the guy should have been shot. And we also, there's a big problem when the police and the entire system is failing that is supposed to be keeping people safe, and it's not working. And you kind of have to put this Band-Aid on it with ICE. Like, yes, the government that is in charge of that city and state right now is the big problem.
Yeah. Okay. So, but here's the problem. People are fed up with the immigration. It's not just illegal immigrants. There's a generally huge problem right here in North Texas. The Hinduification, Islamification we talked about. You know, I know I'm kind of like starting live at a weird time. I know that, like, you know, like somebody asked in the chat, where have you been? I said I'll talk about it a little bit later. There's a lot I can't talk about for legal reasons, but there is some people who are trying to destroy my life, and I am being targeted right now. And they're just messing with everything in my life, and it's insane. But I'm better than them, and I will overcome this, because I've overcome a lot of things. I've come over things too. So, you know, it's unfortunate, but you know, it's my life. And sometimes you fucking get fucked, and you have to accept when you're getting fucked. You know, they call it rape when it's non-consensual, and I am being metaphorically raped, and I'm not having a good time. But I do trust in the Lord with all my heart, soul, and strength. And you have to trust in God in this time. Like, there's nothing else you can do. So Marc goes to the city council. Frisco's a high-end, upper middle class district, right? The PGA headquarters is here. Toyota's here. Okay? The Japanese like it, so you know it's clean. So what are Indians doing here, right? This place is packed. You have hundreds of H-1Bs registered to like one house. You have apartment buildings registered for 196 H-1Bs, and nobody's there. What's going on here? Well, it looks like maybe people are getting paid off. We're going to talk about this. Marc went and actually confronted. This is the video, right? This is you right here. I want to make sure I got the right one. This is the most
you got it.
Okay, cool. Because I had a few clips here. Check this out, guys.
All right, guys, I'm back. Did you guys miss the T-Mobile whistleblower? I bet you didn't. I spent 3.5 months in the Collin County jail because the state of Texas and Collin County said I weaponized free speech in the First Amendment. What a joke my corrupt trial was. They even changed out my constitutional judge from Collin County with a retired liberal judge from Dallas, because that's how you weaponize the judiciary system to go after someone speaking up. But don't worry, I'm not here to talk about me and my story today. I'm here to talk about the Indian takeover in Frisco and H-1B fraud. I'm sure you all have seen the Somalian fraud in Minnesota, and a lot of people are starting to talk about Frisco being taken over by Indians and being the largest hub for H-1B employment in America. Over the last 20 years, Frisco's Indian population has exploded by 4,510%, from 2% of the population to 33% of the population. As a reminder from the last time I spoke in June and July, let me remind you of the mayor's donations. In 2021, 10% of donations above $1,000 were from people with Indian last names. In 2023, 55% of donations above $1,000 were from people with Indian last names. A 450% increase in donations above $1,000 from people with Indian last names. That seems like a red flag to me. Now, let me ask a few questions to the mayor and city council that I don't expect you guys to answer, but I'm going to ask them anyway. Mayor Cheney, for 2023, why were 4 of your top donors Indian people not living in Frisco or even Collin County and donating $5,000 to you? I don't understand why someone would donate to a mayor that doesn't represent them unless that mayor represents business interests that make them money. I'm sure it's just a coincidence that all of you are in real estate business and those 4 donors have over 158 businesses registered in their name. Bert, Frisco's first Indian city council member, I got a few questions for you too. Why did you use a consulting firm where the CEO was convicted of fraud? Why is one of your biggest donors an Indian in the North Texas real estate business that doesn't live in Frisco? Why is another one of your biggest donors a white resident in Dallas in real estate? Why does one of your biggest donors have 4 companies hiring H-1B employees? And why does one of your donors have 23 H-1B companies registered to one address? I'll end my questions there. We'll see if your constituents or any news outlets apply.
Okay, Mark, we gotta jump into this because this place is beautiful and they're building up everything. Okay, it is like it stinks in some of the stores, and you know I was going to go buy some groceries, and I ended up I had a choice between 99 Ranch Market, Chelani Indian Food, and Mogadishu Halal Meat Center. And I thought, where am I going to buy ranch dressing? We have demons and it's snowing out here. And I've noticed, 2 things that don't go well with roads is snow and Asians. It's a bad mix. So you have unsafe driving conditions because of the people who live here, and you have a storm. The whitest thing in North Texas has been the snow. I thought they stopped allowing whiteness in this entire area. It's very strange what's going on, and it is the highest prosecutory area for H-1B fraud, for immigration fraud. What did you take from this? The fact that down at the city level, which is so weird, people that don't live in the county or even the city are donating and stacking the city council with cash, lining their pockets for what? Obviously, we can insinuate. Is this for money? What is it that they're betraying our people? Why are they betraying our country? Is it that cheap? Just for $5,000, $20,000, $40,000 that we're losing the makeup, the demographics of our country? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, it all goes to money. Now, it's been crazy to hear how many Frisco residents are DMing me, commenting me, thanking me for speaking up because they're saying their city is unrecognizable. When they go grocery shopping at the Costco, they feel like the minority now. And that's not how it was a few years ago. And there is a lot of red flags in the mayor's donations. I don't know why these Indians outside of his city are donating to him. Now, one of the big fun facts about Mayor Jeff Cheney is he actually owns and operates one of the most valuable and biggest real estate development companies in Frisco. And he has been the Frisco mayor since 2017. The entire time this city's been blowing up with the PGA coming here, Toyota coming here, T-Mobile making a big presence there. He's been really in the center of a lot of these deals. Now, I don't have any insight into the real estate deals that he's done, but he brags about doing billions of dollars in Frisco. So a lot of residents, they DM me and they feel like there's a big conflict of interest in the business that he runs and what's going on in Frisco. Now, like I also mentioned with Bert, first, let me clarify too, my first question about using a consulting firm where the CEO was convicted of fraud. That was a mistake on my behalf. I confused a consulting company. They had the same names. One was in McKinney, one was in Fort Worth. So forget that question. I'm sorry, Bert. But outside of all that, like, he's got people that are donating to him, and they're all in real estate or they're tied to H-1B. So I think that, they need to be answering these questions. And it's actually been interesting over the past few days. This was January 20th that I was at City Council. You won't find a single Texas news outlet sharing my video or sharing the questions that I asked the mayor. No, you will not. The first
Texas Tribune?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure. But I, been paying attention to a lot of the reason why I went viral is because people shared my video, not because any big Texas platform shared my video. You're the second person to actually platform me for this story. I was on a radio show yesterday sharing my story, and it's actually been it's scary for me because I'm sitting here blowing the whistle on, and a lot of T-Mobile stuff, but now I'm exposing this Frisco H-1B Indian takeover, and these guys are all worth billions of dollars, and I can't even get my government or news to help me. So I'm in a pretty scary situation right now.
Yeah, you bring this up, and I'm actually kind of pissed about it too. Okay, so again, today's show might be a little bit shorter, and this is kind of like a soft launch this week, coming back into content, guys. But I had to get this story out because it's pertinent, and it's what we're working on with investigations. And Marc and I will probably go out and do some filming together as well. I was planning on going out this weekend. I'm not going to say what, because people keep stealing my ideas when I mention them to people. But I want to go show some people the severity of what's happening here, just get an idea of really how bad the replacement is. And what do I mean by replacement? Well, 1 in 4 Generation Alpha are only heritage Americans with a history here, aka they're white. And we're not talking about an argument anymore about whether Germans get along with the British, whether or not the Irish are the same as the English. We're talking about people named Mutabakata Lakula. It's a Kuna Matata. It's not a children's song. It's the guy that's serving you food. And you get dishonesty. Like, I went to a burger place, and this kid's 17, white kid, and he's like, "Hey, I have a question for you. You look like you would know about money," which is, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Maybe it's my nose was looking a little crooked today or something. But he was like, "You know about money?" I was like, a little bit. I know how to spend it. And he's like, "So is it legal? Like, you just left a tip right now." I was like, "Yeah, I did, because you seem like a nice kid. Whatever. Here you go. Here's a tip." And he's like, "I don't get the tips." I go, "What do you mean you don't get the tips?" He's like, "Well, I didn't. It's my first job. I'm 17." And he's like, "But my wage is $17 an hour." I go, "Okay, that's pretty all right." He goes, and the guy says that he gets to keep the tips, that owns the place, that they're for him because it's his business. I go, "No, that's not legal, because he's asking if I want to tip the service, so it would be going to you guys." He goes, "No, I've never gotten more than $17 an hour, and people tip all the time." And I started looking into it, and he told me that, like, that's not, I should be thankful because the minimum wage here is $7.25, so all the tips go towards helping pay my wages. And I go, yeah. So this like Indian people stuff working there. So you get this like cheating, scamming culture that comes in. You get your first job, you're 17, you're a white guy, and then you find out that you don't even get to keep the money because some Indian decided that he's going to make his own rules. Because in the Indian culture, they respect you if you're a scammer. It's like if you cheat somebody, it's considered like smart, right? Over here, it's considered degenerate. It's considered dishonest. It's considered wrong. But over there, it's like, "Oh, you got one over me. Oh, you're smarter than me." And so there is a very, very, very odd thing that happens where you lose what makes this country great. You lose what makes America a good place, because you have people doing small things like that, cheating you out of money that you're owed. And it's like, who's going to stop them? The Indian-funded city board, the Indian-funded Department of Labor, the state government that makes agreements with India? No, they're not. Because what they're worried about is, I think a lot of it is corruption of money, Marc. I think a lot of it is just money, but it's like everything that's created. If you go check out the new Universal Studios they're building in Frisco, it's the ugliest hotel I've ever seen. It looks like shit, aka Indian dessert. Okay, it looks disgusting. It's a bunch of squares. Let's see if I can find a picture of this. Let me type this in. New Universal Hotel Frisco. They put this $1 billion park in. Yeah, here it is. Let me get this up here. They unveil new resort. It's like a bunch of squares in like it's a hospital for Indians to poop in the park. The Indians, and it's not even good rides. Look at this. It's a parking lot. Yeah, corporations own Frisco. Exactly. Wish I had my soundboard. I don't know what that is. It's somewhere. It got shipped out here. But it's just like a bunch of retarded people. And the rides aren't even good. And it's like, oh, are you happy about this? Like, who okayed this project? Who said this was allowed to be made? Somebody. Our theme parks are getting worse. And so it's like, you go, how is this helpful to the Frisco citizens? How is this helpful to our nation? Somebody's just getting paid. And I actually thought about the hotel. I'm like, life has become about building things as cheap as possible to turn as much immediate profit now as you can, with no thought of how it affects anyone anywhere. As long as you follow code and regulation, it's about somebody just wants to get paid. And I got to ask Mark, why aren't we getting paid from why don't we scam the Indians? Why don't we get involved in H-1B fraud? Because it looks like it pays better than podcasting, right? I mean, it looks like it pays better than journalism, as you would know, because
I've only spent money doing what I'm doing, by the way. I haven't made $1.
Yeah, you lost money, actually, too. A lot of money. And that's the truth. And I want to bring up a couple more points here before we talk about this. And like I talked about Madu Makalula, what's happening in Texas? We're losing the tits, guys. We're losing titties. Twin Peaks, the better looking restaurant. Like Hooters is like for waitresses whose dads weren't really present in their lives, but were there. Twin Peaks are like people's dads who were in jail or they never met them, right? You get, there's girls, every girl there has to have a money bag tattoo to even get a job. Okay. They're like, it says how to get hired, tits and back tattoo. That's literally it. You just have, you don't even have to breathe. They have dead corpses sometimes because guys are such sick perverts, man. They'll fuck anything. They have dead women there, actually. That's why it's not good. But you just have to have a pair of boobs and a back tattoo, and then you get a job. But Twin Peaks is a fine establishment. It's like Moxie's for poor men. And you go there and you can't even get boobs anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not trying to be disgusting here, but the truth is that you're losing boobs and you're getting, what's his name? Bunjar Pubab? I don't even know. You're getting Indian people. Do you want that? I just feel like people say it's racist and whatnot, but India is such a horrible country. Indians are dying to get out. They're literally, the 26,000 Indians are killed in train accidents every single year in India. These people can't even ride trains. They don't know how to ride trains, Mark. And you want them to come to our country? I think that they're goy cattle. I think that they help turn a quick profit. And I think that that India supports Israel. And that's why they're getting preferential treatment. I think India is a big pro-Israel country. And so they make better citizens because white people aren't supporting Israel. So let's replace them with the people who do. They do and smell like poo. And it's not even mean. I don't think anyone, and by the way, if you're Indian and you're watching this, stop. I don't want Indians watching the show. I'm kidding. No, I don't care if you're Indian. I have Indian friends who just happen to have ethnicity from India. I know some good Indian people, but their feet still stink. So I'm being completely honest. I do love a few Indian people that are out there, but I don't know what the point is of this. I just want to bring this up. Replacement migration is happening at a cataclysmic scale, catastrophic, seismic proportion. It's happening here in the United States, and it's primarily happening in Texas. Gen Alpha is now less than 25% white. Texas will be, within 25 years, less than 25% white. And so goes Texas, so goes the country. And people say, well, I don't care about that. I was a boomer. Who cares? It's great. Really? Show me any place in the world where a bunch of Indians live that's great. If you love black neighbors so much, I have an idea. Go move to a black neighborhood because there's plenty of them. But no, you don't want to do that but you don't have the balls to call out the shit. You don't have the balls to literally tell, hey, this country is backwards. And you ever notice in videos of India, you never see women? It's always just a bunch of men. It's weird. Something's weird about that place, Mark. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting too off kilter here, but I don't think I'd like it.
No, and Frisco better start paying attention, because over the past 20 years, their Indian population has gone from 2.5% to 33% of the population, a 4,510% increase. Not only that, they just got their first Indian council member elected last July. With the way the Indian population is increasing in Frisco, if they go show up to the voter polls, soon enough, you're going to have an entire Indian city council in Frisco, Texas.
Well, and the problem is, so I'm stuck here. But I wanted to say, I'm literally turning into a freaking Pentecostal preacher. And then the Lord said, there's going to be a curse. There's going to be a big curse. Shit's going to be raining out from the sky. That's what he said. That's what the Lord Jesus said. That's blasphemy. Sorry. It's raining men, but it's not the good kind. It's the ones that don't use soap. Soap companies are crying right now for the future of America. If you are in the soap business, get out. If you are in a Texas market for shampoo, you need to leave now. The stocks are going to drop. Okay? I can't predict the future. The only thing I can predict is that sometime tomorrow, the stock market will either rise or fall. Okay? So that's true. But other than that, I don't know. And I feel like I get slapped in the face where Donald Trump today said, but the S&P 500 hit 7,000 points. I guess what he said, 7,000 points. And that's what all the people care about. Did the graph go up? Did the bar graph go up? Did it go up? Did it go up? I don't know. But I'll tell you this. I don't think I like our new neighbors. And I don't think they like us. And there seems to be a very strange racial superiority complex in the Indian community to where they feel like they're better than everybody. They think they're better than everybody. And they intentionally try to exclude people who are not like them. This is the only topic we're going to talk about today. I bring that up because it's true.
Yeah, my cousin, he worked over here at Cisco. You know, I'm over here in Richardson, and Cisco has a big headquarters here. And he used to always tell me that he could never get a promotion. He could never get promoted or get on a different team because it was all Indians there, and the Indians would only promote other Indians. And so, you know, I'm all for, you know, like you said, you might have Indian friends. I don't really have any Indian friends, but I don't really have a problem with Indians. I have a problem with the way the system is destroying America from within with the Great Replacement, and the Indians are part of that. You know, if you want to come over here and live the American life and value the American life, you know, that's cool. But if you're trying to come over here and live the India life in Texas, that's when it's not as cool.
Yeah, no, I'm really afraid that I'm going to go to jail from this show, because I'm actually looking around now if I'm going to get kicked out of here, because I think I'm going to raise up a little bit of a notch here on the show in terms of my poignant conversations about these topics, because the way I feel, everybody knows this clip, right? This is a famous clip, all right? This is insane. Okay? This girl says the most insane thing. This is developed. Watch.
So I'm Somali. I'm proud to be Somali. To me, being Somali isn't just eating bananas with rice. It's
She thought she hit that one. You know, being Somali is like they think it's like bananas and rice. If you ever talked to George Washington and showed him this video, he'd be like, "Why is a black person there? Why aren't they working?" And that's actually a truthful statement, right? So this country wasn't built for non-white people. And I think the problem is that, look, we're not arguing a very racist perspective here, but they keep basically bringing the worst stereotypes to make their case. Look at that face.
Yeah, you paused that at the worst time for her.
That's diabolical, right? That is insane. And you got this other guy back here, right? What, like, "You are a disgrace. You should not be here. He's a samurai." This guy's asking for an extra slice of bread in his Big Mac. You know, he's like the kind of guy who doesn't even go for more meat. He goes for more bread. This guy is, if you put a simple carbohydrate underneath a microscope, this guy's face pops up. So you have literally Demon Woman 1. You have terrorist guy, and you have Jackie Chan got divorced and depressed over here. Ate himself. And then this is what she says.
It's a lot. It's like
Yeah, so just being Somali is a lot. It's a lot. What is it? What is it, Amar Mahfoud? What is it?
it's an interesting thing. It's very hard to describe what it means to be Somali and what it means to be American, but it's like a cultural fusion. It's kind of like the bananas and rice.
There's this thing in IQ where you ever notice people with low IQ do this thing where they repeat themselves right before they chimp out. Like they go like, "What'd you say? What'd you say? What'd you say? What'd you say?" And they get this repetition, and then they proceed to commit a felony. That's usually what happens, and it's remarkable. And so she's like, she said the word bananas and rice. Now she can't get that out of her head. She's just thinking about bananas and rice. This is what these people do. That's why they got the corner store. That's why they have corner stores. You know you're in a bad neighborhood when you don't find grocery stores. You find Dollar Generals and corner stores. Sorry to break it to some of you guys. You see corner stores because these people, one of my friends told me that the theory behind the corner store is that because these people just eat fast food. This is why 7-Eleven sells food, because they don't think about buying groceries and preparing future meals. They just think about now. I'm hungry. I need to get me some food. And they go get some food now from the corner store. And there's no like, oh, hey, wow, there's a Costco and we're going to package things. However, I will say Indians love Costco too much. That's one of my biggest gripes against them. I don't know why Indians are in two places. And one of them's not using a proper toilet. But they are in a Costco. I think Indians are born in Costco's, actually. I don't know if you know about this. They're just kind of like born in the aisles. What they do is the family just kind of gets in the aisle and blocks it. Somebody once was asking me, like, how do you stop China, even, by the way, to build the Three Gorges Dam to figure out how to stop water, studied how Indians line up in aisles of Costco because they can literally block anything. They're really good at this. And they all get together, generations of people. They have family reunions and everything in Costco's. And they line up in the aisles. And then I think they just like block it. And then they like, the weird thing about Indians is they shit them out. They don't come out of the vaginal cavity, they come out of the asshole. It's a true story. By the way, this actual science, Mark. This is legitimate science. They come out of the butt. And I was shocked when I found that out too. So if you watch this show, very serious show too, by the way, you find out Indians are born in Costco and they are born from the back door. Some people say, oh, back door butt stuff, it's gay. It's also Indian. So it's a new fact as well, right? Is it gay, or maybe you're just exploring your Indian side of who you are, right? Going through an Indian phase, as we called it back in college. But so she says bananas and rice.
People don't really see like, it's people don't think, oh, you can eat bananas with rice, but that's what it's like to be Somali and American. It's like that combination of banana and rice.
This guy died. This guy here. Let me bring him up here. This guy in the back. He died like 10 years ago. You can tell. Like he's not alive. Neither is this guy. I can't be the only guy that's 32 and breathing, but died like 7 years ago. I am actually dead, which is unfortunate. But the only thing that keeps me alive actually is my children. That's like actually the truthful thing. I love my kids to death. And I would never kill myself either. We should say that. I'm not going to kill myself either. I would never kill myself because I love my kids too much. And then people are like, what about life insurance policies? Like, okay, I have a several $1 million life insurance policy. Are you that much of a bitch? You think that's what you're worth? You're worth more than that. Okay. But it like my favorite part about this entire clip is it ends and she smirks like, hell yeah, I just did it. I did that. And you're like, you literally just lived out a stereotype that a 19th century Victorian character artist couldn't even think up, right? A guy who was hired to draw and racist things couldn't have invented this moment. Like the most vitriolic racist couldn't have thought of making black people say this. That's crazy, right? And so it's like these people are hurting themselves. And I think that, in retrospect, Mark, if you feel the same way too, you just kind of interact with the new immigrants and you find out that they just really are not, they're just not the same quality, right? It's like, we're not drinking Dr. Pepper. This is Pib Extra, You know, we got PIB extra immigrants coming in, and they convince you it's the same thing, and you're like, bro, Shasta Cola should never have been invented. Okay, and why are we gonna? We're gonna import tens of millions of Shasta Cola bottles when the very good. And now, by the way, you know, not just Coca-Cola for America is the best Coca-Cola. I mean, everyone knows Mexican Coca-Cola is better, but Shasta can't compete. Instead, they're like, hey, they're trying to pass off the fake for the good. And I think that's where Americans are meta. Even non-white Americans are like, I left my country to get away from people like this. And you're like, oh, why is Somalia a shitty country? Because people like this live there. Who are people like this? Somalians. Somalia is a piece of shit because Somalians live there. That's what Trump said. And it's true. And people are just mad. Like, why is Norway good? Because Norwegians live there. I'm just saying, you know, why is it that Finland is a nice place to live? Because Finnish people live there. Okay? I'm being completely honest here. Why is the UK not a good place to live? Because Jews bank there. No, I'm kidding. No, but I don't know why. I don't know. But I was going to say, you know, the truth is when you give retarded people a microphone and you give them power, you have destruction. And it is unfortunate, you know. Remember, every time you look at the country and you wonder what the hell's going on, thank a Jew. They did that. No, I'm not gonna make any more Jew comments. I think I love Jews, by the way. They're awesome. They're really cool. We love them here at this show so much. We love Jews, don't we, Mark? Yes, we do.
Yeah. I'm glad I'm getting canceled on my first video session.
Oh, I would say we love them. We love them so much. No, I'm totally fucking around. I have a Jewish friend. He's great. His jokes are always cast, but I do love them very much so. My cousin has traumatic PTSD thanks to one of their wars, so that's cool too. I love like traumatic, mentally destabilizing events for the Greater Israel Project. It's always like, oh, like I'm glad that we were able to sacrifice men and kill 1 million brown people for wars that didn't do anything for us. But anyway, moving along here, I only brought this up because in the same, man, how does that happen? Okay, in the same way, I don't know if you saw this, but she just got arrested for assaulting federal officers. And like she literally, so let me see if I can make this. Yeah, so she got arrested for assaulting federal officers. And I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact of a black person committing a crime. This is the first time hearing about this. So I've not heard about this. This is investigative journalism 101 for me. No, but she assaulted an officer. The point is like, they're trying to paint a picture. These people are like victims and whatever. But in reality, they're not like Alex Peretti. They're not great people. And that's sort of my argument about Frisco and stuff. It's like Frisco is soulless. And it's soulless. It's strip malls and plastic bags in trees without leaves. It's like what it is. And I don't know how I ended up with an office here because I've always hated Texas. That's why I was like, maybe I should become a politician in Texas because it seems like that's the only requirement is to hate your state. It's like the number one qualifying event. It could be the governor. It's like, hey, do you fucking hate this place and everyone in it? Join the government because that's how they make their decisions. Like, what's the worst thing we could do? What could we do that ruins the Republic of Texas but makes people money? It's like, let's import Indians in the millions. And Europe is about to receive another 10 to 20 million Indians over the next decade. Isn't that crazy? Ursula von der Leyen. Do you see that? Yeah. The European Union just signed a historic trade deal to where they share secrets, white development and intellectual property to India, and then we get their people for cheaper wages. This is not a joke. And so anyone that's part of the European Union is going to get millions of Indians over the next 10 years. So they're bringing in Muslims and Indians. And where in the world were Hindus and Muslims having a problem. I don't remember where that was. Something happened, like Pakistan or something like that. But it doesn't end well. So white people are actually kind of getting on my nerves recently because they're destroying themselves. Do you see that? I see white society as being self-destructive these days. It is very self-destructive. It's very sad. And I have to say it's like we're doing it to ourselves, or if we're not doing it to ourselves, who's doing it? I think we all know. There's somebody else trying to destroy us. There's like an attack on anything. And Texas falling is Texas doesn't exist. Isn't it true? In metropolitan areas, Texas is more California than California. That's my personal opinion. I'm from California. It's more California than California. The rural still has its taste, but there is no Texas. It's just like, thank you, please come again. I should dress up as an Indian and call myself like a Texas native, Like that'd be a funny thing, Move to Mumbai or whatever. It's pretty crazy. Did we lose Marc?
Yeah, I lost audio.
Oh no, we can hear you. I was like, did we just scare? Is your second show? We scared you off the show already?
I think my AirPods might have died.
No, it's good. Thank you. Please come again, son. All right, we got to hit some other topics here. I'll give you the last statement on that one. That one's pretty good. Someone said Texas has always been gay. I told you years ago. Also, super chat, $10 from Notice I Am said trains are the apex predator of India. Oh my gosh. Also, I think I decided, Dylan, if you're watching this, I think we're gonna do the show earlier in the day. I think we'll do 3 p.m. CST, a daily segment, shorter, possibly 3 and 5 and 7 in the future. I think we'll do like 3 20 or 25-minute segments, and we'll just do them like live on Rumble, and then we'll post them on YouTube. But I think we're just going to do live segments because I think I'm just too old. So I wanted to bring something up. So this is actually pretty serious here, Marc, and I want to talk to you about this. So
it's not a coincidence that you started talking about the Jews, and then I have technical difficulties, my AirPods disconnect, and all sorts of stuff. So that one was on you.
Yeah, every time you see something bad in society, thank a Jew they did that. No, by the way, guys, if you watch the show for the first time, it's not an anti-Semitic show. It's just an anti-Semitic host. No, I actually won Anti-Semite of the Month back in 2023 from Stop Anti-Semitism before even Nick Fuentes, before these other people who got nominated, before Candace Owens. And I remember like they wrote a whole article when you get I didn't get nominated, I won. And it was like the funniest thing because nothing I said was anti-Semitic. It was all just like, and it's all true today. We know it. It was like Elijah Schaffer said that they let October 7th happen. Elijah Schaffer said that they killed their own people and counted it as deaths from Hamas. Elijah said that they're not even trying to just release the hostages. That they want to have a greater Israel project. He says all about bloodlust for land. I'm like, this is all objectively true things that I'm stating, and they're antiseptic. Okay. Whatever.
Hey, I did want to make one comment. My AirPods disconnected, but you were talking about the EU and trading Indian people for stuff. I feel like that's what Abbott did 2 years ago. If people go look, Abbott went over to India and signed all sorts of economic deals. And it's, you look at this, all the Indian people that have came here since then, it's like our governor has sold us out in that same aspect.
I agree as well. I fully agree. I'm 100% back and ready to go on this. I 100% agree. I cannot and will not and will never think of anything beyond the fact that there is 100% truth to the fact that we were sold out and we were sold to stinky people, and I'm not happy about it. Also, guys, someone said back in the day when I was better. Yeah, I think we're going to also return not just riff segments. I think we're going to do like probably a slightly and a riff segment every day, and then probably just go live for like a conclusive riff show on Sunday nights, and then Saturday nights for Slightly Offensive. We'll do like 2 live long shows on the weekends, and then we'll do during the week just like pre-recorded or like, like shorter segments, only because I have a few other businesses I'm trying to start right now as well. And I also want to help Nikki and some of the other people on here create content. And now that we're forging, I also need to get the studio set up to have guests in studio because currently it's just set up for one person. But the fact that I just did this all in a few weeks. I did want to talk about something with you, Mark, that I think is crazy. And this is about targeting. So I had my car stolen a little while ago, and a week later I was terminated, I'll just say, from my very, very prestigious and powerful position at one of the top 5 publications. People don't really know that I have that job, and for my views on my political views. There was some issues with JD Vance's team. I don't want to get into the details due to NDAs, and they even tried to terminate me for a different reason. And I get a lawyer involved. Like, hey, this doesn't make any sense. How is it that you're saying I'm sketchy or something? I did something wrong, and so you have to take me off air, but then you'll let me continue to run the department. Like, it's like, so I can run the most important part, but I can't be on air because you don't want me on air because you say I did something, but I didn't do this. So you have to give me a better reason. And then it came down to like, the owner's just tired of apologizing to these.
Yeah, we don't like what you say.
Correct.
That's all it is.
Yeah, it was like they just don't want you on air. They don't want you on air. So and that was horrible. That was my main. That was like really crazy. But what's crazy is my car got stolen, and it got stolen in an exact time period between when I go to bed and my wife would wake up on a work night, in like an hour period. Now, one of the things that was confusing was one of my keys to my car was missing. Okay. And so someone could say, oh, did you just leave your key in the car? And it was like an opportunistic, like somebody just stole a car. That's possible, right? Except for the fact that I had a secondary tracker installed in the body of the car. I had 2 trackers in the car. It's an expensive car. And they knew where the tracker was, and they removed it. Like 15 minutes down the road, they found the other tracker, which means that the police, they had sophisticated like detection equipment, or the police said, one of your keys is missing, and it looks like the system didn't alert the alarm. So it looks like somebody gave them access to your vehicle. And the police said the way that this looks like, it looks like you were targeted because they drove it. They got pictures of it going down to the port down in Miami. And they were like, the fact that like you said you didn't get mail about the insurance being gapped. Somebody might have been, taking your mail and throwing away the letters because they said they sent them to you. And the police told me, this is from their direct words, sir, somebody probably doesn't like you. Somebody in your life doesn't like you, which is crazy. Me? People don't like me? That's so weird. No, it's somebody close to you. Somebody might have stolen your key. Do they have access to your house, to your office, or some place got your key? And it's not an opportunistic theft because they sophisticatedly removed 2 GPS tracking devices built into the car very quickly too, and got it shipped out in a port allegedly. That this is somebody tipped them off, and somebody in your life did that. So that's unfortunate because now, according to the police, somebody in my life orchestrated this, and that's their final conclusion from the investigation. We're never going to get the car back, but somebody in my life did it, and they said it looks like they did it to just cause you pain. That's basically what it doesn't. They don't have any orders. They don't know. It looks like they just hired somebody to come from a different crime racket, to take your car to literally just hurt you financially. And do you know anybody that would want to do that would want to harm you? Because the way to make the most money would have been to sell it internally in the market here or somewhere in the United States. These are not the ways to make the most money. This is like sort of like a hit, like a destructive hit. So this was before the FBI lawsuit. This is before a bunch of other things. And I've had people betray me and turn on me in the past. What I am going through right now in the last few months, like I believe that there are people around me that have been blackmailed to turn against me. I believe that there are, and before you go like, are you schizophrenic? The answer is yes. Okay, based.
I get that question all the time too, by the way. So
yeah, based, right? No, I'm not schizophrenic. I'm not mentally ill. Like I have the receipts. Like I'm in the middle of a $5 million lawsuit over something I never said with the FBI director's girlfriend. And like meaning I'm being targeted by the FBI's proxies for lawfare, which is already taking all my money. I am being targeted, and people have gone to work associates. People have been lying about me. I've had to submit myself to affidavits and have people write emails to clarify that people are lying and coordinating things. It is so severe attacks on my life that I promise you, if most men went through half of what I'm going through, they would kill themselves. But I'm a very resilient and strong person. I would never do that. Okay. I have 2 children. I want to clarify. I would never kill myself, but I do believe that there is a coordinated targeting plan, and it is so sophisticated because there are things that are happening right now, several lawsuits and things I'm involved in that are so severe and so intense. I cannot mention them on air, and I will in the future. By the way, this isn't like one of those like I saw Charlie Kirk in a dream situations. I'm not like these are real legal things that are trackable, traceable. This is not schizo talk. This is just like I'm going through such severe mental anguish and attacks from people to destroy every faction of my life that I actually wouldn't care if someone, shot me in the head at this point, because if I didn't have kids, and because I have kids, I'm going to fight. But it's costing me every dollar I have, everything in my body. And that's where I was gone. I was fighting for my life the last 30 days. I have been completely fine, by the way, personally, but I caught a plot to try to essentially just shy of assassinate me. This is not a joke. They're not gonna. No one's trying to kill me. But there's so many people that are coordinated that I am trying to understand if it's all connected, and some of it is connected, by the way. And I do believe that there are certain people who have been blackmailed into harming my life and to taking steps to cause problems in my life because they are compromised. And it has gotten so severe that I've had to talk to family members and find out, because my grandfather, of course, connected to the CIA and whatnot. People know that. He's a level 1 clearance defense contractor. Northrop helped develop the stealth technology for the B-2 bomber. My mom was a computer programmer for the B-2 bomber in the Cold War to develop their systems. And she wasn't as high of a security clearance, but people think that my mom might have been poisoned because the cancer she has, like one that developed from poison. She was a bit there was a couple things, and my grandpa, they don't know, he just died and kind of unexplainably in his sleep as well. And so people I'm investigating down to the point to whether there is historical beefs or problems with even my family, with the government, that there is sort of this way to keep our family down, I could say. So everything's on the table here, but I got the police report back. I was targeted by someone I know. So somebody I know in my life that was close enough to get one of my keys fucked me over. And that's what the police say. So that could be false. I don't have proof of that. That's their suggestion, though, the investigators. So I want to say, Mark, I want to talk about your story here. This job has destroyed me. And I'm not even very popular. So it's not a grandiose. That's why I don't understand this. If I was popular and very influential, then maybe this would make sense, right? I'm a washed up streamer. I'm like that. I'm like Uncle Rico in Napoleon Dynamite. I used to be a star, and I tore my ACL, and I would have been in the NFL. No, it's I've been chopped and blocked by everyone and everything. People have destroyed my life every step of the way. Accusations and fights and legal issues and detriment. It's been slander and libel, and it's at such levels. And I think one of my only suggestions is my whole goal has been philanthropy. It's been to give people jobs, and I always really work like Gavin and Alex, which they don't do as much anymore. But I always try to give voices to the smaller people, or not in a saying you're smaller, but I've always. You asked me why I didn't have you on before. I was out of the country, actually, due to another legal issue, actually, January 6th. So I was in different political world, and now I'm back here, and I'm getting back involved in the American political system. And I think they don't want me in. I think someone doesn't want me involved in this. And people try to shut you up too. People tried to destroy you, and they offered you over $100,000 to shut the fuck up, and you didn't take that. What happened?
Yeah, I'll tell you, man, what you're describing with your life, being a whistleblower has really destroyed mine. I worked at T-Mobile for 17 years. I requested to be laid off because my goal was to go launch my independent journalism, and I was going to use my T-Mobile whistleblowing to kick off my independent journalism career. When I asked to be laid off from T-Mobile, they offered me a severance package. The severance package was worth $150,000. That was cash and stock included. The problem is that severance package included a non-disclosure agreement. So if I would have taken that money, I couldn't have said a single word about T-Mobile. But remember, my whole goal was to talk about T-Mobile, use that moment to launch my journalism so I could talk about different topics and really, be an independent journalist. And I was using Elon's, free speech platform that was promised to me to do citizen journalism. And people like you inspired me to speak up. I started waking up in 2020, during the COVID lockdowns and everything else. And I was really big into, I subscribed to a lot of these same Texas news outlets that are now refusing to acknowledge my story. And I bet everything on the promises of having free speech. And so, I've came out and talked about T-Mobile. I've exposed their diversity, equity, inclusion, how they have 10 groups to divide America from within and discriminate against white Christian males. I've exposed T-Mobile providing unlimited money for transgender surgeries. Boom. This is one of my very first signs I made standing outside of the T-Mobile office. I exposed T-Mobile creating the vaccine passports for the World Health Organization and the European Union. T-Mobile created the digital ID for the European Union. I can go on and on and on about things I've exposed at T-Mobile. I underestimated how important my story was. And, in January and February 2024, 2 years ago, I was blowing up on X. I had 13 million impressions in those 2 months. Then the next month in March, I had less than 50,000 impressions. They immediately shut me down. I had a 99% decrease in my impressions, which was 100% censorship, because I didn't realize that I was exposing a company that wasn't supposed to be exposed. And my life it's been pretty tough since then. Now, I made a mistake along the way and texted some T-Mobile executives. Then I went to one neighborhood and passed out flyers in the T-Mobile executives neighborhood, and I caught a harassment charge. And after that, T-Mobile weaponized the judiciary system to come after me. They rewrote the charge. They even, they actually reached out to all of these social media companies and got all my social media accounts. The only way I knew about it, they had to do a warrant, but Meta actually reached out to me. Elon's ex didn't even reach out to me to let me know that they were handing over my entire account. And the police department, DA, they went through my entire X account, and all they found was me talking about some tweets about the T-Mobile executives, which I believe was covered under my free speech as a whistleblower on X. And so Collin County, the state of Texas prosecuted me. The state of Texas said that I weaponized the First Amendment. They said I weaponized free speech. They lied in the trial to prosecute me. They changed my judge from this was in Collin County, where I had a conservative constitutional judge that was in charge of my case for 8 months. And once I go to trial, all of a sudden my judge is out of town. And now I have a retired liberal judge here, a retired liberal judge from Dallas running my trial in Collin County. And it's been a tough road. Right now is a pretty big, it's getting scary for me again, because the only reason why I am now even getting any attention is because I exposed the Indian takeover and the Frisco H-1B, and I've gone, somewhat viral on X in the past 8 days, but I still can't get any of these news outlets or the Texas elected officials to help me, because I believe I have exposed too much truth about T-Mobile that people aren't supposed to know. And another fun fact about T-Mobile, they have a new CEO as of November, and he's an Indian. So what a coincidence.
That's disgusting that they exist. You know what I mean?
That's why
it's gross. Wiping it shouldn't be that hard to use a toilet. I dude, the thing I always struggle with this show and with every show is like, if I unleashed the beast, right? If I didn't eat a Snickers bar every day and I actually spoke my mind, I'd probably get arrested because of like what I'm thinking. Like, there was this Down syndrome guy, okay? And he was interviewed about ice. And you can't get mad at a Down syndrome guy, right? Because he's Down syndrome. Is this it right here? Let me see. Yeah, here he is. So you can't get mad at a Down syndrome person. But he was interviewed about what to do with the immigrants. And this is like what my show would be, because I am kind of retarded. And If I let the full retardation out, we'd have a serious legal issue on our hands. So we won't do that. There's enough people trying to destroy me legally right now. Check this out.
He has a sign that says "Gas the immigrants." Excuse me, sir. Would you like to do an interview? A formal comment? Would you like to make a formal comment about ICE?
Yeah, sure. I'm with them over there.
Yeah. What's your formal comment about ICE?
My formal comment about ICE is that the ICE should gas the immigrants. They should send them to the gas chambers.
Yeah, really. He has a sign that
Disavow, deny, reject. We do not support that, of course, here. That totally is totally evil, wrong, yuck, gross. Why would we waste gas like that, right? So I totally joking. We're not promoting any violence at all, period. But I just think it's funny. It's still hilarious. It's still hilarious because a Down syndrome guy has the easiest solution. Maybe the way up is down. You know, who knows? That's a possibility with the individuals. But I feel like the desperation. Does anyone feel that desperation? I want to talk about a couple other stories here. I feel that fight in me growing, and this desire to see my country restored because we are being so grossly treated and destroyed. And you know, people. I'm gonna go down here. Individuals, something happened, by the way, which is pretty good. So to fight against this immigration issue, Governor Greg Abbott did a ceremonial presser here, and he denied H-1B visas, particularly to individuals that are seeking to work in government and universities, state-funded, taxpayer-funded jobs. And sometimes I hear things like this, and before I celebrate, I got to celebrate. You can't be fully black-pilled. You have to still give praise for good things that occur. I'm in trouble. Okay. You have to give praise for good things that occur. So one thing happens, by the way, you know, down here in this building, when you walk in, there's like a very secure building. There's 3 security. You gotta come stop by, but there's like 3 security gates. And at the front, I thought it was an Indian, but it's run by the front desk lady's a Pakistani Muslim. And I was like, oh, great. And she's very kind, by the way. Totally sweetheart. She's got to go, though. You know what I mean? Like, you ever feel like that you're talking to them? You're like, you're going to have to go. Like, I'm sorry, but, like, it can't stay here. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what do you mean I work here? It's like, but not here. Like, you're going to have to go on a long walk. You know? You're going to have to just Trail of Tears 2.0, baby. Okay? You already got the head. You already got a big napkin on your head to wipe those tears off. Very absorbent cloth you're wearing there, man. It will hold a lot of tears. And I don't like seeing women sad, so cover that face. Not for religious reasons, just so I don't feel guilty from what I'm going to make you do. And she's like, she has a sign in front of her, and it was like, I'm signing the paperwork to rent the office, and it's like, we are not a place that's racist. We are affirming. We love queers, and other than the gay part, I obviously don't support any of the other stuff because we all are gay and retarded, Mark. That's true. But I was like, wow, okay, I am in a office that is like woke. So I'm just a temporary office, but I'm probably going to get kicked out of my office at some point, to be completely honest, because it's a gay place. Probably should have thought that before opening up in a gay bar. No.
Well, you said you were in Frisco, right?
Not this. No.
Okay.
No. This is in North Texas though, but it is in a better place than that. But I still realize they're everywhere. And as a white man, you can't get no motion anymore, right? You can't freely move. What happened to the day? Like, maybe our ancestors weren't vitriolic racists. Maybe they lived with people and knew, right? When you go to conquer, you're like, wait a second. We can't live. Like, positive energy will always go to negative energy. Energy moves down, right? From higher to lower. So when you have like a less developed, less civil group and you try to integrate them, you become less civil. They don't ever reach your standard. And that's the unfortunate reality of what's going on, is that Oh, someone is here. I thought it was. I gotta put up a sound blanket here. I like windows here. People can see me. It's like, you know what I mean. This is dangerous. I'm always playing with fire. I'm always getting burned because I'm always playing with fire. But all I was going to say is he did block the H-1Bs from the positions. I didn't know that that was legal. Like, I didn't know you could hire foreigners for taxpayer-funded positions. That was legal. So sometimes when you think that things are getting better, it's like we're getting closer to like a ground level. But on one hand, there's now more people being deported and leaving than there are entering the country. So we have a net negative migration. But we had like 10 million come in under Obama 2.0, also known as Joe Budden, Sleepy Joe. I mean, as funny as that presidency was, it was a nightmare. You know, they prosecuted the January 6ers. They flooded open the gates. I mean, it was literal chaos. You had a dead guy. If he had a pair of tits, he could get a job at Twin Peaks, you know. But you got a dead guy running the country. Remember I said on my show, this isn't funny. But he's like, all the boomers like, oh, that's so funny. He's like falling asleep. I'm like, there's a dead guy and they have a printing machine and they're printing edicts from the king and he doesn't know where he is. Okay, he's lost.
During that time, they allowed T-Mobile to discriminate against me based on my vaccine status. I was locked out of the office in Frisco, Texas for 10 months. I have to give it, to Hot Wheels. I was thanking him at that time because he protected me from being fired. But T-Mobile was still able to discriminate against me for being unvaccinated, which they passed a law now that it's illegal to do that. It's Texas Health and Safety Code, Chapter 81D. But of course, I don't get any retribution for T-Mobile treating me that way back then. And I understand. I'm more of black pill, but I still have hope. Unfortunately, my hope is not in the Texas leadership because, like I just shared on this conversation with you, I've exposed more things about a Fortune 100 company than any other whistleblower has in America. And it's all the things that are trending online and all the things that my Texas government talks about, exposing diversity, equity, inclusion, transgenderism, all this stuff. But yet I can't get any help. I've reached out to every elected official to help me hold T-Mobile accountable. And I'm the only one still here telling my story after 30 months of being a whistleblower.
Well, and I believe you because look, like right here, I'm meeting a bunch of people. This is a neon white rabbit. Isn't that cool? He came wearing a mask. That's how like scared people are. But it's not even a joke, by the way. If you talk about the Indian stuff here, they come after you. Yeah. They review bomb your businesses.
Oh, dude, you should see my spam. My phones are blowing up with spam calls. My email now, every day, I'm getting like 20 new newsletters that I'm being signed up for every single day.
Oh, dude,
a couple weeks ago, I had a credit card.
Hundreds,
yeah.
dude. They sign your email up. I have a guy that just filters my email every day because I can't even, there's so many. I probably have like 12,000 emails blocked or email chains. They sign you up for shit all the time. It's like, no, baby, the anal pleasure 12-inch
3,000
double black 3,000 plus with real vein features newsletter. I didn't sign up for that. Okay, that was not me. No, but it was the Indians. So remember this: if you're tracking with this show, if you can't blame the Jews, blame the Indians, right? So it's sort of like it's a hierarchy. It's like the food pyramid. No, I'm joking, guys. You don't want to blame anyone. You actually don't want to be a loser. And this is the best way to win is don't be a loser. And I mean this genuinely to guys. Like, don't be a loser. Okay? Lose body fat. That's cool. Okay? Lose like someone also, I guess I know that the color is red in here. There's no color correction on my cameras, by the way. This is a raw Black Magic video file you're seeing versus the cameras in Florida were heavily color corrected with they're heavily color corrected, but these ones don't have any color correction, so everything looks red hue. And no, I am not using fake tanner. I use peptides. I inject peptides from my medical company that you guys will find out about. And the peptides actually just kind of like tan your skin. That's called melanin. I don't know if you know about that, but it's in the peptide and it actually just kind of turns your skin tanned. So it makes you like you have a tan all year round. It's not a bad side effect. It's actually kind of cool. So it kind of gives you like an orangish, it's like Trump, but yeah. So it's not a fake tan. It's, if you actually want a tan, you can get this stuff, and it actually, you can use BPC 157 for your you know. I used to have a really bad pain in my shoulder, and I've healed it through peptides. It's basically in life, in order to get free things, you've got to be penetrated, right? That's why women get free stuff. But you've got to be penetrated. Now, this one doesn't require you to do anything unethical, just peptides. And people seem to be really scared about peptides, by the way, Mark. People are really confused about peptides because, like, I remember I one time showed this guy's girlfriend, and don't ask me what I mean by that, but I was like, oh, yeah, look, these are my peptides. And she told him, like, oh, you're trying to get me to do drugs. You had all these drugs. And it's like, I've had like several people accuse me, like, you're doing drugs, like, because needles make people think you're like a junkie, because you have needles, they go needles, junkie. It's like World War II, Holocaust, 6 million. They're programmed into believing things that aren't true. And the thing is that, like, you're not doing intravenous. You're not going into your blood. You're not injecting needles into your veins, into your vascular system. It's subcutaneous. You're just injecting it into a little bit of fat into your body, your stomach or your leg or whatever. It's very tiny needles. It's a little bit like taking insulin. So it's not like, checking your blood, your sugar levels or whatever that they do. It's like a prick, which is also the name that I've given to the mayor of Frisco. But it's a little prick, and you do need to inject medication. You can also take oral. There's a new oral route that we're looking at some as well, because typically oral hasn't been the best way to take peptides, but now there's some new technology, like brand new encapsulation technology that we're exploring as well, so that you don't have to use a needle, because people don't want to use needles. But peptides are amazing. It is like nature's free gift to reversing aging. And I don't mean like, yes, you can actually reverse the way that you look too, like you're aging. But the key thing is that peptides work, which is why you can't like use them when you're pregnant or breastfeeding or whatever. They're not that expensive, and they literally do heal your muscles and they heal your body. And they're not drugs, they're proteins. Okay, they're little peptide strands, and they are that's like kind of newer technology, newer research technology that a lot of it's not FDA cleared yet, but it's going to be. And you ever heard people taking like GLP-1s or things to lose weight? It's like peptides, that not all peptides are the same, and not every, I would be careful. Like sometimes you see people like on GLP-1s and they get that they look sick, they don't look good. And people ask me, people have asked me why I looked stressed or whatever. I actually somebody had the fucking nerve in my life, the nerve to accuse me of being on drugs at AmFest. And I go, I saw the video clip, you're on drugs. I go, listen, if I was on drugs, you would know it, because I don't hide stuff like that. I'd have been more fun guy. Okay. If I was on drugs, you would have known, but there would have been some crazy cool story to go with the drugs. Okay. You think I would secretly take drugs? I'm a party guy. I take drugs in front of people. I'm not a bitch. Okay. I don't need to hide that. But no, it's like, I was like, I am stressed. Like, there are people trying to ruin my entire existence right now in the most targeted. It's actually a felony, by the way. I have to press charges against people, Mark. It's not good. And there's paper trails for all this stuff. So it's like, I'm not just like, oh, the FBI's after me. It's like, no, literally go read the court docs. It's like, they're literally trying to bankrupt me right now through lawfare. It's crazy. And I was joking because I was so stressed. I was talking to a doctor about getting something just to like temporarily help for the day with like stress. And when I said that to them, I'm like, hey, look, I'm being like coerced and attacked by the feds. It's been about 4 years now. They've been after me. They've been following me. They've been taking pictures of me. They've been picking up my bank records, and they've just been meddling in my life for years. And it's like, I realized in my head, I'm like, and he was like, yeah, that sounds tough. It's like, oh yeah, I'm the 12th person that said that today in this office. Yeah. I'm the 12th person that claimed the feds are after me. I realize how this sounds. So I actually like bring up the phone and be like, no, like I actually have, like, here's my wiretapping charges and here's all this stuff they've coming. Like, it's real federal. It's like, oh, so it's not the feds. So I realized, don't go to a doctor and tell them the feds are after you, because you might not get out. That's pretty bad there. But
yeah, when I went to jail, they asked you, hey, are you worried about someone killing you? And I was like, yeah, T-Mobile. And the lady just looked at me crazy. And I'm like, so there, some of us do have these lives where it sounds crazy, but unfortunately for us, this is our real lives that we have to try and sleep with every single day. And it is very stressful. And, I can tell I'm under the same amount of stress that I think you are. Maybe not to your extent, but I'm pretty close.
Yeah, no, but it's true. Boeing killed people, allegedly. Boeing had people killed during the whistleblower. I remember like 2 years earlier, they're like, we've been putting black people on the
Open
line.
AI too.
Yes. Look this up, guys. This is not a joke. But just be careful, so you're gonna be a statistic too. Allegedly, right? Boeing killed what, like 3 people, 3 whistleblowers, or something like that. Yeah. 3, 2? Was it 2 or 3?
Yeah, I tell people I drive a Tesla, and I love my Tesla, but at some point, I don't know if the full self-driving is going to back me into a lake and keep the doors locked with the windows up at this point, because it is scary when you are out here. I'm exposing the most valuable telecommunications company in the world. I've also exposed how T-Mobile United States is owned by Deutsche Telekom, and Deutsche Telekom used to be 100% owned by the German government, but it's 30% owned by the German government. When you're saying things like this, you are risking your life to tell your story. And what's crazy is I thought that this was going to make me go viral and create my whole independent journalism platform 2 years ago. But once I started getting censored and going to jail, that's when I realized, holy shit, I got myself into a totally different ballgame than I expected.
Yeah, when people ask me, like, what's it like to be targeted by the feds, I usually say it's like sort of like it is in some ways like bananas and rice. Yeah, people don't usually think about that when they think about that, but they can go together. Like, it really is bananas and rice, Mark. I'm gonna start saying that now for everything.
Good callback.
When it doesn't make any sense, it's like, so the feds are following you, like, yeah, it's just another bananas and rice moment, like some bullshit that doesn't make sense, but it's happening. I'm actually positioning myself to do more business behind the scenes. Ever since I gave my life to Christ about 4 months ago, I used to be, people don't realize this, okay? You can at times think you're following God, but you're really following emotions. And you can think that you're following God, but you're actually in a cult. And I say this respectfully to people. I used to be a youth pastor. That's crazy. I know. I've got a potty mouth. In fact, it was my significant other in the past that got me into swearing. I actually didn't swear before I met her, and she got me into swearing. I don't care. I don't think anything's super bad about it, really. But some cultures. I only bring that up because we're going to be talking about Australia here in a second. Australians love swearing. Okay, they call you cunt, and it's a nice word too. It's a nice word to them, unless you're called a shit cunt, which is not nice. So it really matters the phraseology. But I only bring this up that, swearing, all these types of things. I have issues. Okay. I got issues. I know. But I did say I wanted to follow the Lord, and I have been very successful at working on areas of my life, but all the bad things that have happened in my life have happened directly after I decided to give God my heart and my life. Because in the past, we were like, oh, well, didn't you go to, I went to seminary. I have a degree in theology. I have read the Bible many times, but I also wasn't a part of God's holy church. I like the Protestant ethos, and not the mainline Protestant ethos, but the non-denominational, modern Protestant ethos is just weird. It's very self-centered. It's about singularity. It's post-industrial modernity. And I know a lot, they're like, this isn't a better than or worse than. A lot of people that are non-denominational are way better people than I am. And I believe they're saved, I believe they're Christians. But one thing I've noticed is that the people in my life have not been supportive of me turning to Christ. And I've noticed that a lot of people in my life are just like, they're really negative, really destructive in my development that I'm surrounded with on all sides. Sometimes you don't get to choose those people, right? Sometimes those people are your family. Sometimes they're people around you. Not, by the way, this is not everybody. Some people have been very, very supportive, but like, especially now that I've been like, yeah, and I'm working on orthodoxy, the amount of people that have been like mean about it has been crazy. They mock me, remind me about my sin, and you did this, and they weaponize my faith against me. It's been really nasty, guys, behind the scenes. I have never had more people that claim to be Christian try to stop me from becoming a Christian, and like from something about the Orthodox faith that people really don't want you to be Orthodox. It's very weird. You might find out about this if you try it yourself. And I don't say this in any way. It's like, it's so weird. Like, I wear a cross, and people have mocked my Orthodox cross. The people in my life have mocked it. Somebody even asked me, like, stop wearing it on the outside because it's performative. And I'm like, I didn't even notice it was out. Like, what do you mean? And they've been mocking, like, oh, well, in Orthodox, if you did this, you would be considered this. Well, I wasn't Orthodox when I made those poor choices. I wasn't, actually. So I don't, why would that apply to me? I didn't know about the Orthodox faith. I didn't know anything realistically about this. And I feel like the devil himself, this is really a true and founded thing. For those of you who have been longtime listeners, the devil himself really doesn't want me to be an Orthodox Christian, and really doesn't want me to understand what it means to be a part of the Holy Church of God. And I'm not against Catholics or anything. I like a lot of Catholics. Like Nikki Rudd is calling me in a second. Hey, buddy, we're on air right now.
Oh, shit, my bad, dude. I did not know.
No worries, man. Have a good day. Yeah, you have an intern calls you while you're on air. Okay, but I'm telling you, Mark, I don't know if you're a Christian, I don't know if you experienced this, but I'm looking at it right now. Someone that I know also told me I don't have a soul. They told me I can't be saved. The people have been telling me my sins are unforgivable. And it's been so nasty. I've been like disgusted, actually. I've been like, I don't get it. Do you want me to go to hell? Like, I kind of talked to them, like, and I realized the people in my life, like, they hate me, or they're just like nasty. I mean, and I've got to cut people out of my life because like the Bible says, if somebody causes you to stumble, cut it out. And I realized that in my entire life, I thought people that were supporting me have been rooting for my failure the entire time. I don't know if anyone's ever had that happen to them. And I feel like this deals a little bit with the T-Mobile stuff. Like, all the people that I thought were supposed to be supporting me have actually have been corrupted to the point to where they're actually my enemies. And sometimes that happens where the people that are supposed to, whether it's your job, it can be your church, it can be your career, it can be your spouse, it could be your kids. Sometimes there's people, it could be your friends, lifelong friend. It could be Nikki Rudd. I'm kidding. No, he has nothing to do with this. It's like, could be, no, but you have all this stuff. It could be an industry. It could be a lot of things. You go, wait a second. I got to be careful with who I surround myself with. I got to be careful whose input I'm taking in. I got to be careful who I'm listening to. I got to be careful who I'm supporting. I got to be careful who I'm around, because, guys, right now I've learned one thing. There is no safety, and people have no respect for you in this life. If you are a man, you are alone in this world, and it gets worse. Okay? This is a truthful statement. Life gets way worse. If you're a young guy watching this and you think life's hard, it gets harder, and you never stop feeling that feeling of uncomfortable. You're never going to feel comfortable in this world. Okay. You're never going to feel comfortable. You're never going to, you think you're never going to get your career going. You're never going to, if you live your life safe, if you live a safe life, you will live an unfulfilling and boring life. And if you want a substantial and impactful life, it'll be scary and it'll be hard. If it wasn't scary and hard, then everyone would be living substantial and impactful lives. The reason why most people aren't is because safety is comfortable, and comfort breeds mediocrity. And you have to realize that if you want to be somebody that does something unique, you will have to endure a lot of pain. And that's what the Orthodox Church preaches about, just salvation through suffering. And I think that someone like Marc, I'm trying to tie in spiritual aspects to the show towards the end. You learn that the hard way. And they when they offered you over $100,000 to say, look, you don't talk about the evil we're doing, what it shows you is that that's the price that it costs them for most people. They offered you that because that's what it would cost someone at your level. $100,000. People are selling out for $5,000 in Frisco City Council. $100,000. They knew they would have offered that to you if they didn't know that you were going to take it. They knew you were going to take it. This man will take this. And it's a lot of money. Most people watching this, that's more than you make in a year. It might be 2-3 years worth of wages, right? It might be more than your whole household income. I know a lot of you guys are struggling right now. And imagine if you were offered $100,000 just not to do anything, to not do something, right? To just not do something. But you know that's something that you're not going to do is the right thing to do. And that's what Marc proved. And that's what character proof is that's what I think I'm going through. I think Marc went through his testing and he's going through it now is, are you going to break? Are you going to break under the pressing like Job? Are you going to let the enemy buy you out, sell you out, trade you out to stop telling the truth? And I believe, Marc, you passed the test. But I think what's funny is you thought probably, which is the mistake that men make, oh, I did the right thing, so life should work out for me. And in fact, if you do the right thing, life works out less. Which is why even in the psalmists and the people that said, like, I don't understand, Lord. Why do the evil people, they have success and money and it's like, yeah, but they sold their soul. And there's really no nobility in doing the right thing. In fact, you get punished for it. Doing what's right is punishable. In the spiritual ethos, in the physical ethos, it is all punishable. And I think people need to understand and expect that sometimes you don't get rewarded for doing the right thing. The right thing is the reward. But you have to have a lot of tenacity and strength because it is really demoralizing when you see people who did the wrong thing reaping the rewards you want. And when you do the right thing, I mentioned this on the last show, I am not like really evil enough to be successful in podcasting the way that I want to. I watch my friends cut each other down. I've been crossed by some of the biggest names recently in very, very nasty ways. And I think, how the fuck could you do that to me? I could never do that to you. But you can't be a victim. And I think right now, I don't know how you did it, Marc. I want to hear this. It's very hard. It's very hard to not get callous when bad things happen to you and you feel like you didn't deserve it. But then you realize that you do deserve it. You deserve death, right? You do one sin, you're guilty of them all. And I sin every day, unfortunately. I do. It's really sad to think about that. Every day. Yeah, every day, pretty much something. Just drive on a street with Asian people. You will invent new words. It's really, really crazy. And I am in awe and in wonder that right now in my life, I have to just repent and turn to the Lord because I am in so much pain. I am in so much pain, but I'm a resilient person because God has given me the strength. I think that's what you don't realize is, yes, will it be hard, but will you have the strength to get through it? Yes. And I want to note, there's a verse that's misquoted in the Bible all the time that I think is hilarious. The people say, God will not give you more than you can handle. Yes, he will, dude. People are martyred for their faith. You can't handle death, okay? That's literally means that you didn't handle it well, okay? Your body died from pain or exhaustion or blood loss or whatever. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say that in the Bible anywhere, in fact, that he doesn't. But he said he won't give you temptation beyond that which you can resist is actually what the verse is. So the pull to do what's wrong, he will always give you the strength to do what's right in the wrong situation. And sometimes the right thing might be dying. And to those that are depressed out there or going through trials and tribulations, don't kill yourself. Okay? I'm being completely honest. Too many guys are shooting themselves in the head. 50% of gun deaths are suicide. Okay? The rest are black people. But don't do either. Wait, don't do black people. That doesn't make any sense. Don't do gang violence is what I meant. And don't shoot yourself. I just thought we should remind people. Marc, did you ever feel you were going to kill yourself? I mean, did you ever feel?
Yeah.
You're not suicidal. Did you feel that level of despair?
100%. When I was in the 10 months when I was locked out of the office and I couldn't go associate with people, like I just wanted to be unvaccinated. And I'm a very big people person. I like being in the office, talking to people. And those were some of my darkest days. Like, you gave a very good, tie in to what I've experienced the past, couple years. It's been hard. It is not easy doing the right thing. And, now I've lost a lot of friends and family over the past 2 years because I just look like this crazy dude who's losing his mind because he's exposing a corporation and the way they're destroying a country from within, also attacking humanity. And so, but what's crazy now is it's actually, I'm not depressed like I was, back when I was not allowed to go into the office for being unvaccinated. Those were my darkest days. Right now, I'm living some of my brightest days, but they're also some of my hardest days, but they're the most rewarding days because I continue to use resilience and persistence and coming back just to fight to tell my story and speak truth during dark times. That's all I'm doing. All I'm doing is using the First Amendment and my ability to research and communicate to share stories. That's all I'm doing. And my life has been pretty hard the past couple of years, but the most rewarding that it's been.
Yeah, that's genuinely a good word. It is rewarding, but that's what people need to understand. And I want you to think about this, young man, young woman. I want you to think about this, older man, older woman. If it was easy to be great, everyone would be. And I don't know if you ever walked outside, people aren't that great. Okay? It's unimpressive. You do not need, by the strength of God, you do not need anything else besides the love of God in your life and in your heart. And I'm preaching to myself a little bit here, Mark, but I am getting physically ill from the stress that people have put on me. And maybe some of it I invited. I don't know. Maybe it's a punishment for past sins or something. And I've had moments where I wanted evil things to happen to the people who are meddling with me. But I have to say I have to repent of that. And we got to pray for those who persecute us. We got to pray for those who are evil, who do all types of mean things against us. God be our witness. And so we pray for the corrupt people in our countries and our cities, that God would convict them. I'm going to be working on the content plan for the show. I'll hit you up, Mark, as well. I know you got Dylan, you got some of the contact, so we can go some content I want to make this weekend with Nikki's to come up here. Maybe you can come along. I want to show some stuff around here and get a take of what's happening, because there's a lot of viral content we could be making for X that I think it's not viral because of clout. It's viral because we can show people. I think people are starting to see. And because of X, people are starting to get mad, and the government feels like they have to do something. There was a march here for Australia.
January 26th of this year, where I'm standing, an invasion gang organizer stood here and said,
"We abolished the Australian Day Parade, and they will never, ever get that back."
What I say to her, what we will say to her on January 26th, is that we will take it back! All the
My kids are Australian. Okay, I love Australia. It's in my heart. It's such a gay country, though. It's like T-Mobile country. Remember when T-Mobile as well was blocking people's messages from that was crazy. T-Mobile was involved in some crazy stuff.
Yeah, the Gateway Pundit covered me on that. I exposed that, where they were censoring customer text messages. Actually called T-Mobile Transmobile, which I think you'll like, because they provide unlimited money for transgender surgeries. That's what they should be called. It's Transmobile.
Oh, I love it now.
Hey, and the video you just showed, that's what we're going to do at Frisco City Council on February 3rd. I've sent out another invite inviting all city councilmen. Let's go show up. We need to pack the room and just go in there and ask questions and speak and let the city council know that the Texans are here to speak up about how their city is falling apart.
Yeah, can we use the word Jeet in the council meeting, or is that against the rules?
Yeah, you can. You just, you know, you can use that.
Yeah. Poo Jeet, Pow Jeet, Din Jeet, Big Jeet, Small Jeet, Big Feet.
Yeah,
Okay, I don't know.
The First Amendment is protected under the Texas Open Meetings Act. So if they kick you out for saying something, it's probably a pretty easy lawsuit to go win.
Let's go. All right, Marc, if people want to find you and follow you, we'll connect more. I enjoyed having you around. I know I yap a lot on the show. This is sort of a soft launch back to content this week as we're kind of getting our full content plan strategized. Marc is not suicidal. We can just put that up there. Marc, Palasciano.com.
I held this sign in front of the T-Mobile office in Frisco. If you go to my YouTube, you'll see there for a while in 2024, I was going every day and recording videos in front of the T-Mobile office in Frisco with a lot of these signs. But yeah, I'm also on X, YouTube, Instagram. It's really hard to find me. You got to spell my name correctly because I have been severely shadow banned. And I'm the only Marc Palasciano in the United States of America, which I thought, like, this is genius. I'm going to make that my website name. Well, I didn't really think about that's also makes it really easy for them to censor me. And, you know, I was a big Elon Musk fanboy. I still drive Teslas, but there is no doubt that he has censored me into barely existing.
Amen. Amen. I know, but we're going to keep fighting. Amen to the fact that we're going to fight that. Not amen to him censoring you. Amen to the fact that we're not going to give up. We're not going to stop the fight.
No.
We're going to keep it up. Make sure that you guys know we are audio only as well. Starting next week as well, we have bonus content for locals members. You go to ElijahSchaefer.locals.com. You can join our community. You can also get a link to our Discord. We're going to be growing the community. This is like totally this was like the week. They basically, the people that have, like some of the people that have just tried to destroy me really try to like keep me off the air. So there's been like a concerted effort to discourage my ability to speak to you guys. And I decided I wasn't going to give up and I was going to just fight and we're going to rebuild our audience and we're going to grow. And I don't care if there's only, 400 or 500 people watching tonight or whatever it is live. Marc, I don't care. We are going these are the people that matter. You are the people that matter if they're watching this right now. So people are like, oh, well, you got 20,000 live, whatever. It's fine. You are the true SOBs, and we're going to really integrate and get the content flowing and growing. And this year as well, I think there will be some opportunities. And if you watch this show and you're interested in just like for free right now, I know it's like we're not paying. If you want to like help clip the show and get clips up, I will help grow your account on X. So like if you want to be a clipper account and clip the show and put up 2-minute clips, 3-minute clips, 5-minute clips, and you want to upload them, I just ask that you upload them in the full quality because if people look like these like weird shit. And like you don't need to add. You can do whatever you want. I don't care how you edit them. If you give me blank clips or just putting them up, I will share your stuff. Of course, if it's like bad clips, then why would I share them? If I'm going to share things that make me look bad. But I have had people who've taken me up on that before, and they have grown accounts by just me sharing their stuff. So if you want to clip some of the stuff out and put some of these rants up, I will share your stuff. DM it to me on X. You can also, by the way, if you don't have a premium account, so you can't DM it to me, you can always send your email, a free email to Dylan. His email's in my bio on X. And we can just you can send us your username and we can open up a convo for you because you have to be a premium member to DM me just to prevent spam. But I don't mind just I can start it with you. So I'll just go to your page and we'll create so you can send the X clips or whatever. And we appreciate it. Make sure you guys check it out. Shout out to the SOBs as well on ElijahSchaefer.locals.com. I want to see who's there right now. We got the Derek. We got Merrimack. We have Sarah422. We have Hitler. No, I'm kidding. We have Big Log and Doomsday Cracker. What's up? And I may do another Discord chat tonight in about half an hour. Going away always really hurts my reach. But sometimes you just have to survive. And that's sometimes what you got to do. You got to just live. You win by existing. And currently we are going to win by existing. And so we're happy to do that. We're happy to partner. Make sure you check it out. I appreciate you guys, Marc. It's been a pleasure having you on.
I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to share my story. It means a lot to me. It also proves a lot to me because there's a lot of people that will not platform me right now because I'm a T-Mobile whistleblower.
Oh, yeah, and that was not the issue. We appreciate you. Have a great rest of the week, guys. Thank you for watching. Have a great Wednesday. And may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.